Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. 2 races to go until the chase begins. We have 11 drivers eligible for those 10 spots. Of course, we know only 10 drivers will make it, and it's specifically the top 10 in points. We still got to race for the regular season championship, as well as Jimmie Johnson leads the way by 216 points tonight. He can clinch the regular season championship with a top 10 finish. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we're about to get into this one here tonight. The Pop Secret 500 at the California Speedway. This should be a fun one. The 2-mile racetracks this season have been absolutely stellar, and not only on this season in this game, but the Truck Series, the Busch Series on this game as well. It's gonna be a fun one. I can tell you that right now. We will be starting at the rear of the field. No practice, no qualifying for this one, so making it tough on ourselves. Again, for Jimmie Johnson to clinch the regular season championship tonight over Jeff Gordon and the rest of the field, he needs to end up finishing 10th or better as of right now, no matter where Gordon ends up finishing. If Jeff Gordon wins the race and leads the most laps, we have to finish 10th to clinch the regular season championship tonight. If we lead just one lap, we can finish 11th. So let's enjoy some NASCAR indeed, as Patrick stated down in the chat. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Let me make sure my setup was right. All right, there we go. Patrick Shadley, DB Forever 85, R6R6, Yo Mama, welcome to the stream. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Jeff Gordon actually on the pole. He'll lead the field to the green. 250 laps, 500 miles at the California Speedway. Our second trip to the racetrack this season. Jimmie Johnson running the test paint scheme once again under the lights. And look at him fanning out down the back straightaway already, 3 by 3. Johnson in the draft of Brendan Gaughan. They're 4 wide in front of the 48 of Johnson getting into turn 3. Jimmie got a little loose getting into the corner. No room for error right now, but he is flying in the middle of the corner. Gaining a ton of spots early on. Derek Cope pulled back down to the inside right in front of him. Ryan Newman will be the leader at the end of lap 1. So the pole sitter Jeff Gordon didn't even lead the opening lap. Cope tried to block again off the exit of turn 2. Jimmie Johnson got underneath him in time. 3 wide and tight in front of the 48. 16 of Biffle almost pulled down in front of the 48 of Johnson. Enough to where there was a little bit of contact. Luckily, it was nothing too major. Up the middle, 3 wide. Gutsy move by Johnson in the opening laps between his teammate Brian Vickers and then to the outside of the 10 of Scott Riggs, the rookie. That's a gutsy move to go 3 wide up the middle between 2 rookie drivers. But Johnson did it right there, and he made it work to perfection, and he's already cracked the top 20 in the first 3 laps of the race. I don't think I've seen Jeff Burton in a Pennzoil paint scheme like that before. That looks pretty slick. Honestly, it looks like Mark Martin's Busch Series car in this game, but I don't think I've seen Burton with that paint scheme all season long. Again, the game is not actually released to the public yet. Oh, contact between Sadler and Johnson into turn 1. Sadler goes way up the racetrack, did a great job keeping it off the wall. As well as the 48 of Jimmie Johnson as far as keeping it off the wall. It's a little loose on corner entry. Gonna have to snug it up a little bit. It obviously doesn't help that Johnson's in traffic. A little contact inside the top 10 now. So, in particular, NASCAR YouTubers ended up getting NASCAR 21 Ignition on an early release, probably to help. I mean, they did that with the last couple games too. NASCAR Heat 4, NASCAR Heat 5. I know of some NASCAR YouTubers that were getting early releases. Essentially, it's to kind of help hype the game up, in my opinion. Is the main reason why they do it. That, and obviously, you know, if there is any patches that need to be fixed, somebody playing it from outside of whom that work for Motorsport Games, they could get that constructive criticism or whatever, fix whatever they need to fix before it actually becomes public to the people. Whatever quick patches they can make, at least for the short term. I don't think they're going to be able to patch absolutely everything back up by next week before the game actually releases. Yeah, they're not going to be able to fix everything. There's way too many issues with it, but hopefully they at least get the major ones out of the way. Hopefully, just for the simple gameplay of it. They are still fanning out 3x3 inside the top 5. Michael Waltrip sandwiched right now between Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart. Casey Kane's got a big run on the bottom. He's going to take it nearly 4 wide into turn 3. Casey Kane just passed 4 cars in turns 3 and 4. Jimmy Johnson follows that line that Kane made through on the bottom lane, and now he gets underneath Casey Kane himself into the tri-oval. And Matt Kenseth, who comes into this race, final driver above the cutoff line on Rusty Wallace, leads this one early on, so he's getting at least some bonus points for leading a lap. Johnson got a run in the draft of Matt Kenseth. That'll allow him to pull clear of the 8 of Dale Jr. into turn 3. Jimmy trying to get a run on the 17 of Kenseth. Dale Jr. crosses Johnson back over to the inside. Jimmy squeezes as he pinches off the 8 of Dale Jr. all the way down to the apron now, trying to get a little bit of a shortcut underneath the 17 of Kenseth, but that did not work. Johnson's just going to have to sit behind the 17 car. Remember, it was Kenseth and Johnson who dominated the Michigan race 2 days ago, but neither one of them won. It was Dale Jr. who went to victory lane. Casey Kane passes Dale Jr. in turns 1 and 2 now for the 3rd position. Kenseth still holds the lead. Johnson trying to win at his home track. He's had bad luck on the 2-mile ovals this season. Good luck as far as leading laps and leading the most laps in each of the first 3 2-mile races, or races on 2-mile race tracks this season, but no wins to show for him. The game, in my opinion, I think is worse than Heat 5, but it's not as... Well, again, right now, you can't actually set that in stone because the game isn't released to the public yet. I'm not saying they will fix everything, and I don't think they will, but you never know. Like, they could fix most of the bugs before it releases to the public, and what we ended up seeing isn't going to actually be what we're exactly going to get as far as, like, the crashes and the bugs in the game. Pennington, Nebraska. I watch, like, to give you a specific rundown of, like, sports teams in any sport outside of NASCAR. Outside of my favorite teams, I can't really tell you exactly what's going on because I just don't keep an eye on them enough. Once NASCAR's over, I watch a ton of football. You know, it kind of fills my void on the weekends, at least when NASCAR is not running. But with NASCAR on still, I hardly watch any football. I try to watch, you know, my Michigan Wolverines, my Green Bay Packers, but outside of that, it's just hard. I just don't have enough time with work, and especially college football because I work on Saturdays. So I was able to watch a little bit of the Michigan game today. I watched it at lunch. from kickoff to like halfway through the first quarter, and I watched like the second half of the third quarter on my 2:30 break at work today, and that was it. Didn't get to watch anything else. NASCAR 21, welcome to the stream. A synonym for cinnamon is a cinnamon synonym. You definitely got me on that one. Welcome to the stream. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream as well. If you're just tuning in very early in the going right now, a wild opening start to this race at the California Speedway, but now the top two are starting to break away from the field using the draft to their advantage. That would be Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson right now. Johnson trying to go down to the apron into the tri-oval again. Nothing doing for Johnson there. A long 500-mile race. The race 2 nights ago was 400 laps at Michigan. This is 500, so an extra pit stop will be coming in this race compared to that race. And remember, it was going to be a fuel mileage race if we did not get that caution in the final 50 laps. And coincidentally, it was Matt Kenseth who put a bad block on Jimmy Johnson. Johnson being pretty patient since he got up to second place in an absolute hurry. But as far as trying to pass the 17 of Kenseth as he looks low again into the tri-oval, he's trying to get underneath him. Just not really able to do it. That's how hard it is to pass the car with clean air. We saw that at Michigan as well. There weren't that many lead changes until that final restart when everybody was bunched together and there was a lot of drafting help. No, I watch baseball. I'm a Detroit Tigers fan. I've seen very, very little of the playoffs so far, though. Again, I mean, it's just so hard. Because I'm streaming at nights. So unless, like, I get done streaming early enough, I'll maybe catch a couple innings before I go to bed. If it's a work night, I don't stay up late enough to watch it. As long as these drivers can make it 50 laps into the run, it will be a 4 pit stop race today for those drivers. Clemson lost again today? My goodness. Some guy at work was telling me the the Penn State game went into 6 overtimes at one point. That was right before I left work. Oh, I see your comment now, R6. 9 overtimes? That's got to be a record. That's got to be a record. The share drafting. I should say Johnson share drafting with Matt Kenseth all of a sudden now. Most of the way down through the tri-oval. Do the same thing down the back straightaway. Once Johnson leads his first lap of the race, whenever that ends up coming, he'll be at least in a decent position from there. Well, I should say he will be able to finish worse than 10th and still clinch the championship. Remember, Jeff Gordon didn't lead a single lap earlier on in the race. Gordon qualified on the pole. Just eclipsed 200 miles an hour into turn 1 right there in the draft as well, but Gordon qualified on the pole. He didn't lead a lap, so no bonus points for him. Kenseth running that low line down the back straightaway that time as Johnson just kind of follows him in the draft. Jimmy, outside of those few times through the tri-oval, never really made a big attempt trying to make a pass for the lead. He's going to try it again into the tri-oval, down to the apron, nothing doing there either. Exactly. Clinch the regular season championship at all costs tonight. So that way, when Richmond comes tomorrow afternoon, we won't have to worry about anything. No matter where we finish, we'll be the number one seed when the chase begins on Monday. It was when Johnson tried to pass off the high side off of turn 2 at Michigan is where Kenseth pulled that bad block. It put both cars in the wall, bringing out the only caution of the race. Kenseth ended up finishing 6th. Jimmy Johnson came back to finish 2nd, but it was Dale Jr. who was able to go on to victory lane. But what will happen in tonight's race, you may see something even different. Johnson with a little bit of a slide getting into turns 1 and 2. I mean, Jimmy would like to lead a lap, but we got a long ways to go in this race. He's being very, very patient this opening run. Johnson's pit crew was seemingly faster than Kenseth's at Michigan. We'll see if that'll be the case again here today at California, as we're alternating through the different camera angles now. Oof, Seth, welcome to the stream. Kenseth just doing a really great job right now. I'm assuming you're talking about NASCAR 21 Ultimate Edition. Teacher told me he saw a JGR hauler going up to Kansas. Didn't you say you live somewhat near the Speedway or something within a few hours? Where's your home track? Oh, no, don't tell me exactly where you live. I'm not a creep, but because they would have been coming from Texas, likely. So I mean, well, I guess I'd have to go back to the shop first. So I guess like either direction would be either coming from A, Texas, or B, from Charlotte would make the most sense. Whatever highway that would end up being. I haven't been to Kansas before, so I don't even know exactly how to get there. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Oh, wow. Lincoln, Nebraska. How far is that from Kansas Speedway? Isn't that... Wouldn't that be more east, though? Or, sorry, more west? Isn't Kansas, like, west of... I think it's northwest. It is just amazing what Kenseth and Johnson have been able to do during this opening run as they have just absolutely pulled this field. I mean, look at the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen just to see exactly how far Kenseth and Johnson are ahead of third on back. Looks like there's a bunch of mini groups up there on the track map, but the mini group that's leading the way looks by far the most dominant. Again, this is exactly what they did, and now Matt Kenseth needs these laps led. So he is going to fight a lot harder, I would think, than Johnson. Because to have a shot at the championship, you have to make the chase, where Johnson's locked into the chase right now, officially on points. He's just trying to go for the #1 seed. Get that best starting position possible for when the 10-race chase begins. 189 miles to Kansas Speedway. About 3 hours, roughly. Right around there, give or take. Kenseth really drove it deep into that corner. Johnson tried to back the corner up, and you could just see how much Kenseth gapped Johnson on corner entry. It's almost like he's a little too far back off corner exit. That's primarily why he's not getting a massive enough run. He took 3 looks to the inside of Kenseth. That's it. All 3 were down to the apron in the tri-oval. And he was never able to get up into the lead during any of those runs. I've noticed out of people that attend the races, NASCAR races that is, or live somewhat near NASCAR tracks, Dover, Kansas now all of a sudden, and Sonoma are like the 3 tracks that a lot of you guys go to or live near. That's just kind of strange that it all works out like that. I don't know if that has anything to do with the algorithm or not. I'm almost wondering if it does, though. Right front tire getting a little worn on the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. I'm also kind of curious to know if these drivers are going to have any chance of catching lap traffic before we get into the first pit stops of the race today. Johnson may just wait till that first pit stop of the race and just try to see if his pit crew can cycle him out in front of the 17 of Kenseth that way, like they did at Michigan after the first stop. Because this is almost looking identical to the start of the Michigan race, where these 2 pull away. Johnson gets the faster stop. He was ahead of Kenseth by a second. Kenseth wasn't close enough to draft off of him. And it took until after that final pit stop for anybody to get close. But remember, it was a mistake on pit road by Johnson's crew that allowed Kenseth to get within striking distance after that final stop of the race, and then eventually obviously got the caution a few laps later. Jackson Thomas, welcome to the stream. Closer to Atlanta than Kansas? Oh, my bad. I thought that was R6 that said that, not Joshua. I glanced at your guys' profiles. It looks similar because of the color. Then you guys are both mods too. It's kind of makes it difficult for me to just randomly look down. Then you got Jackson Thomas in there. That's like just like there too. You got 3 different people in the comment section. They all look identical to me, and like off first glance at least. Surprised I don't mix you guys up more often. See how clean this low Chevy is in the very beginning of this race, with him being super, super patient behind the 17 of Kenseth. Kenseth has got to be at least grateful for the amount of laps led he has up to this point. But again, in the first 3 2-mile races this season, the leader of the most laps was not the winner of the race. Late caution seemed to really plague that, knowing how wild these restarts are at these wider, bigger, longer racetracks. Yeah, I've got a lot of dirt tracks around me. I mentioned 4 of them that race with the World of Outlaws, but I think I have like six dirt tracks within 2 hours of me. Because there's 2 of them that the World of Outlaws don't go to at all, that are still within that 2-hour range. And then Toledo Speedway that the ARCA Series races at, that's about a half hour away from me. Half hour, 35 minutes. Quarter tank of fuel left for Jimmy Johnson, again trying to make it to lap 50. If he can go to lap 51, 52, that would be ideal. Obviously, with him running behind Kenseth, he's saving a decent amount of fuel in this opening run. Maybe that's less he'll have to save later in the race. That way he's not putting as much pressure, hopefully, on that final stop like he was at Michigan. If it wasn't for that caution, it was going to be extremely close on fuel. And Kenseth in that race was a lap shorter than Johnson. And Johnson was sitting like he was going to run out on the last lap. Kenseth was probably going to run out coming to the white flag. This is the only night race, though, of the 4 now races on 2-mile racetracks. First race in California this year in the daytime. Both Michigan races were in the daytime. No lights at Michigan, even to this day. There's still no lights at Michigan. Sandusky Speedway is about a half mile flat asphalt track. It's kind of like similar to Martinsville, but it's only asphalt all the way around. That's about 50 minutes away from me, too. Johnson slid the tires a little bit there getting into turn 1. Oh, Kenseth with a big-time block. Big block by Matt Kenseth off the exit of turn 2, and he even got a little loose with it. Both front tires now in the yellow for Jimmy Johnson. He's trying to back up turns 3 and 4 a little bit more. This time through 1 and 2, Kenseth holds on strong. Oh, Johnson was the one who did not hold up strong. Got into the outside wall off the exit of turn 2. right rear starting to wear a little bit more. Kenseth throwing blocks again. Johnson looks low, but he's a little loose into turn 1. Johnson's starting to try and get that lap led in here before the first pit stop of the race, which is coming up here in a matter of moments. Kenseth with a big-time block down the back straightaway. Johnson goes down to the apron there as well. Nothing doing. Eighth of a tank of fuel left. 5 laps until lap 50 this time by. You definitely see those tires definitely squealing a lot more on corner entry even now compared to very early in the run. He's been fairly loose on corner entry all day long. That really hasn't changed. Kenseth mirror driving. I mean, he is identical in the lines compared to the 48 of Johnson. Extremely identical. Johnson's car is definitely moving around more and more. I'll tell you what, if this was the current aero package, Johnson would not be able to hold this line right in line behind Kenseth. There is no way. A dirty air would just force him straight up the racetrack. He'd have to lift. He'd lose a ton of momentum. I mean, even with this aero package, it's definitely upsetting the handling, but Johnson's driving through it for the moment. I mean, he is all over the back of the 17. They're catching up to their first lap car of the race this time by as well. In the 107. Johnson should easily make it to lap 50. He's going to try to make it to lap 51 or 52. He definitely go to lap 51. 52 might be a little bit more of a stretch. Johnson with a good run on the outside of Kenseth off of turn 2. Jimmy Johnson going for the race lead. Kenseth may be pitting this time by. Johnson staying high. Kenseth will pull the pit road. Johnson will get 5 bonus points for leading his first lap of the race. But it came because the 17 pitted, so he never actually passed him on the racetrack the entire first run. But 50 laps in, Johnson will finally lead his first lap of the night, which means now he can finish 11th or better and clinch the regular season title. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. There's Kenseth. He just made his way out of the pit lane. Johnson puts Scott Riggs a lap down. Johnson pulls really low into 3. And Jimmy will pit this time by at lap 51. Doesn't want to risk running out of fuel, staying out of the pits another lap. Bringing it down into the pits pretty heavily. Never locked the tires up or anything, though. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. They'll tighten it up by putting a half around a wedge into the race car. That's the only adjustment right now to Johnson's race car after the first fuel run of the race. So still caution-free as we head to the first pit stop. Hopefully it's a mistake-free opening pit stop of the race for the 48 team. Kenseth easily cycles ahead of the 48 of Johnson. Kenseth will have the lead by a little over 2 seconds, it looks like. Johnson trying to get up to speed. It's going to be over 2.5 seconds, the difference between Kenseth and Johnson. Jimmy is still in second place considering how much of a gap the 17 and the 48 had on the rest of the field, but Kenseth pitting 2 laps before Johnson was the big difference maker in him coming out over 2.5 seconds ahead. Kenseth, though, getting held up in lap traffic right now. Looks like there's some cars side by side right in front of him, and that is causing Kenseth a little bit of issues. Johnson clears the 107 car cleanly off the exit of turn 4, and Johnson is running down Kenseth in a hurry. How much difference is his car going to feel with those adjustment changes as well, though, too? Jimmy overdrove 3 a little bit. Looks like Kenseth did finally make his way through those first 2 lap cars in the second field run of the race now. So again, this is a similar look at how Michigan was, that this could be a fuel mileage race if it stays green to the end. Kenseth pit at lap 49. Johnson pit at lap 51. Jimmy definitely better on fuel right now than the 17 at Kenseth after the first stop. But still 3 more to go if this goes green all the way to the finish. Which again, Michigan didn't. We had 1 caution. We had 1 caution in yesterday's race at Bristol as well. We had 8 cautions 3 races ago at Watkins Glen. Caution free in the race before that at New Hampshire. So those have kind of been the trends at this point. A lot or very few yellows, it seems like. Johnson flies by the 132 car. Scott Riggs going to go really wide off the exit of turn 2. Johnson will pass him down the back straightaway. And Jimmy is closing the gap immensely right now on the 17 of Kenseth. Josh was predicting 4 or 5 cautions tonight. We'll see. Some more lap cars coming up in front of the 17 car this time. Johnson just going to follow Kenseth to the inside into 1 and 2. 22 of Scott Wimmer. Dave Dunn in the 172 car right there as well. So make it off the exit. Turn 2, clearing them both. I think the adjustments to the 48 car may have made him a little bit quicker also. He ran his fastest lap of the race in the very early going of this run. And just those first few laps trying to run down Kenseth as well. That lap was a 38.308. Had a couple lap cars there, so his time dropped a couple tenths of a second from the lap before, but Johnson's car is very, very, very quick. So again, noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow will be the next live stream on the channel, and it will be the regular season finale at Richmond for the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 season mode playthrough with your guys' fan-voted driver Jimmy Johnson. Hence the Chase for 8 series returning back to the channel with another game as we try to get Johnson his first career Cup Series championship, which would then receive him an 8th title by the time he would have what now we know as 2016 being his 7th championship winning season. It would actually be his 8th. So trying to remake history in this 2004 season. Side-by-side lap traffic coming up in front of the 17 car. Johnson was able to get 2 laps led in. And Kenseth pretty much led all but the first couple laps of the race, excluding the 2 laps Johnson led in the middle of green flag pit stops. Side by side in front of the 17, really nowhere to go for both drivers. Kenseth's going to try to take it 3 wide. Jimmy Johnson going to take it 4 wide. 4 wide for the lead at California. Johnson is out in front. What a move. What a move by Jimmy Johnson to take the lead. And that was the first time he had passed Kenseth the entire race. 4 wide at Fontana. Kenseth now has a lap car underneath him off turn 4. That would have been the 45 of Kyle Petty. Johnson timed the run beautifully to the inside. In the middle of the corner, he carried a lot of speed through the trial while drafting Kenseth. Kenseth pulled out of line. Johnson just pulled even lower. But to complete the pass that clean, 4 wide, especially in an EA Sports video game, that was smooth. About as smooth as you can make 4 wide happen at any track in this game. Kenseth drives it in deep, though, into 3, showing the strength in his car. Why he has led the most laps up to this point. And he'll get to the inside of Jimmy Johnson, but he does not clear, and they're side-by-side for the lead into the trial. Johnson will lead this lap at the line as well by about a half a car length on Kenseth as they run door to door. Johnson trying to pinch Kenseth down in the middle of 1 and 2. Couple lap cars coming up again. Robbie Gordon, Mark Martin. Johnson gets the run off the exit of turn 2 on the high side and clears Kenseth. So he fended him off on the high side that time around. Great car control by the 48. Martin not going to hold up the 48 car. At least doesn't look like he will. Johnson going to draft off the 6. The 144 car and the 31 of Robbie Gordon will be the next 2 lap cars as Martin goes a lap down into turn 1. And I'm sure he'll let his teammate Kenseth go as Kenseth gets to the inside of his teammate Martin off turn 2. Welcome back, but if I read that, I'm probably going to crash. Trying to read it. All I saw was a bunch of cans. It's not even like a tongue twister, though. Like, you're just literally having can. Like, it's not like you're having a bunch of rhyming words in there. It's just the same word every other word. The lap traffic may have costed Kenseth the lead, although it wasn't really their fault. It wasn't Kenseth's fault either. I mean, he did all he could. He took it 3 wide underneath the 2 lap cars that were on his outside in turns 1 and 2 about a handful of laps ago now. It was at lap 61. But Jimmy Johnson went even lower, taking it 4 wide to get to the lead. Kenseth with a great run off the exit of turn 4. Johnson with a really low exit. He got a little loose that time off turn 4. And Kenseth clears up high. No problem at all. So Matt Kenseth leads once again at California, the now known as Auto Club Speedway. Just think this track is going to be what we're seeing right now is going to be a short track here within the next couple seasons. That's insane. Joshua crashed for me. Thank you for taking one for the team, Joshua. Johnson got around Kenseth once when they were 4 wide. Not really using lap cars as a pick, just using his speed. A little too low of an exit off turn 4, getting loose, and Kenseth got the lead right back. Next lap car's in the 151. Pretty decent showing at Bristol last night. Kenseth getting a draft off that 151 car. Kenseth on the inside of him. Johnson follows Kenseth's line into 1 and 2. And now off the exit of turn 2, Johnson may have beaten Kenseth back to the gas a little bit. He looks all the way down low. Kenseth trying to pinch the 48 of Johnson. Johnson with a really deep corner entry into 3. Kenseth trying to pinch and side draft the 48 underneath him. But Johnson's clear off turn 4. Another lead change between the front 2 of the 17 of Kenseth, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson back to the lead at his home track. Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. Kenseth looks low. Johnson going to shut the door, though, as these two, again, they have just absolutely broken away from the rest of the field. I mean, it's not even close. Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread. There you go. I didn't mess up on that one. I slowed down, but that's because I had to read the rest of it without making sure I wasn't going to miss the next corner. I want to know if any of you guys know who the Impractical Jokers are, or know of Impractical Jokers, but it reminds me of that one episode where Sal was like, Rob slobbed on Bob's cob. Like, I don't remember what episode that came from, but I just remember him saying that line. That's what all this reminds me of. That's probably the only one of probably 2 TV shows that I watch outside of sports. Would be that, and I've been hooked on the Dark Side of the Ring series. For any pro wrestling fans out there, I highly recommend it. And I'm almost caught up. I'm like 2 episodes behind. I was going to watch them last night when I got done streaming because the race was super quick at Bristol. Only had 1 caution. The race took 2 hours and 11 minutes last night. But I ended up watching the rest of the Crown Jewel pay-per-view that I wasn't able to see on Thursday. So, at least I'm caught up with that. He's Prince Herb now. He'll be Sal again in the future. At that time, he was Sal, though. I don't remember what... I've probably watched every episode, unless they've had... I probably haven't seen every episode from the new season, but every season prior to that, I can guarantee you I've watched. But there's so many episodes at the same time, too, that I can't remember exactly, like, which segment, like, which skits and which segments are with what episodes. I mean, you don't realize how many times we have, whenever we're having, like, mashed potatoes or potatoes at the house, always got to say scoop, skip potatoes every time you put a scoop of potatoes on your plate. Like always reminds me of that ever since I watched that episode of Impractical Jokers. Yeah, I did see that episode of the new season. And they made him cut it with like the like 1800s lawnmower. That would be a pain. He's got a ginormous yard too. Good watches, that's for sure. I honestly don't think anybody's going to catch Johnson or Kenseth unless we get a caution at some point in time. I think that this is seriously a two-car breakaway, that they have broken away from the pack enough, at least for the next couple pit stops. I mean, maybe somebody will catch him by the final stop of the race. Johnson trying to get the most laps led in here now, or at least trying to catch up to Kenseth as close as he can to getting to that point. Kenseth has led well over 50 laps up to this point in the race. Johnson has not led that much. And that's not even the laps counted that Newman led at the very beginning of the race, too. About halfway on fuel, lap 77. Johnson made it to lap 51 before taking his first pit stop of the race under green. So you would think he can take it to lap 102, although he was running behind Kenseth literally the entire run, up until Kenseth ended up hitting 2 laps before Johnson. So Johnson was able to save fuel in the draft. Now Kenseth trying to save fuel back, because he's about a lap short to the end on fuel from where he pitted at lap 49 compared to Johnson's lap 51. Johnson should easily make it to lap 100 this time with leading these laps, so I guess it's all right. Maybe even the next run to lap 150. He might have to hop back in line again after the third stop of the race, but I mean, for right now, he's just out there on cruise control, at least with the 17 car. Somebody's blowing up on the inside of the racetrack. Oh no! It's Elliott Sadler! Sadler has DNF'd again! Oh my goodness. The humility in that 38 team, and the dysfunction in the engine department of that 38 team for Robert Yates Racing in the second half of the regular season. He has now blown an engine in 7 of the last 9 races. He had a stretch of 5 races in a row where he blew an engine. He did not blow one last night at Bristol, finished 14th, but obviously he was eliminated from chase contention after last night at Bristol, and a lot of it, though, was those engine failures. He was 8th in points before these last 9 races that we have currently ran, where again, he has blown an engine in 7 of them now, and this would be the 7th of those races. Sadler done for the day again. He may have missed pit road, unless this is another driver. Oh, it's Dale Jarrett! So both the Robert Yates Racing cars have blown an engine on lap 79 and lap 80. So not only Sadler having issues again, but also Dale Jarrett. So now both of the Robert Yates Racing drivers will be headed to the garage area, and we're not even halfway home. California, very tough track on engines, and they are the first of which to fail to make it to the end. Again, neither one of those two were going to make it to the chase, but the rough second half of the season continues. And Jarrett has, 3 DNFs in that 9-race stretch as well. So although Sadler's had 7 of them, Dale Jarrett's had 3 in that stretch as well. So it's not all just the 38 car, but it's mostly the 38. I mean, it's just comical. I couldn't help but hold my laughter back up on Sadler blowing an engine again. I mean, this is just a meme at this point. At least he won the Daytona 500 this season. Whatever happens, however many more engines he blows this year, we know that Elliott Sadler won the Daytona 500 on this season. And nobody can take that away from him. Sure wishes somebody could take all these DNFs away from him, though. I mean, this is just brutal. Favorite match? It's probably biased because I was most intrigued in this match going in anyway, but the Rollins and Edge match is really good. But honestly, that triple threat women's match was pretty solid. The finish was kind of I think the finish of it was what kept it from being the best match on the card. But that was actually one of the better triple threat matches I've seen in a while. That was a pretty good match. Like, everything just was so fluent in the ring. Like, there really weren't any mistakes. The ending to the Lesnar Reigns one was very compelling, but the match itself was a normal Reigns and Lesnar match. Honestly, it's kind of what we've seen over and over and over again. But the storytelling at the end of it was a lot different than any other match they've done, and that definitely made things interesting with the storyline going forward. Now, because I did watch that, I have no clue what happened on SmackDown last night. I'm not going to go back and rewatch it, but I do need to find the highlights probably tomorrow morning or something on that, just because I actually had a chance to watch it last night because I missed the second half of Crown Jewel the day before. I've had 10 people in the stream here recently, still 8 watching. Hit that like button, everybody, if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. Jimmy Johnson currently leads at his home track at the California Speedway in Fontana, California, now known as the Auto Club Speedway. But see how this is going to go. Not sure where Rusty Walsh is running. We really haven't seen any of him today. Your favorite was Edge and Rollins, too? I'm just a big fan of Edge. And Rollins, for that matter. I mean, Rollins is probably of all the current roster in WWE that's full-time currently, Rollins is probably my favorite, and he really has been the last few years. Really since 2018 when he was having, like, great match after great match after great match. That was kind of the point of where, from, like 2017 to 2018, where I was like, all right, he's pretty good. And it seems like whatever gimmick change he makes, like, it somewhat fits him well, and he plays a good role with it, too. So, Ron's probably my favorite now. My all-time favorite is Triple H. But when the time for the gold, it was definitely longer than what I thought it was going to be. But they prolonged it with the storyline. Great finish to that match, too. The match was whatever, but the finish was solid. I was not expecting Goldberg to take a dive off the stage at his age. So, kudos for Goldberg going outside the box. I don't think he's ever taken a bump like that ever. I maybe in the Elimination Chamber back in, what year was that? 2004, 2003, whatever year it was. He was in the Chamber match. Outside of that match, that's got to be the biggest bump Goldberg's taken in his career, and it came above the age of 50. Crazy. Crazy old man. Very close to our second pit stop of the race today. That will end up starting a few laps shy of the lap 100 mark. When that time will end up coming. Kenseth's got a really good run into turn 1. He looks low to the inside of Johnson. Not quite going to get there yet. Halfway down the back straightaway, Johnson pulls the block to make sure Kenseth wasn't going to be able to get underneath him into turn 3. Really as close as Kenseth has been to making a pass on Johnson since Johnson retook the lead away from him right around lap 69. Johnson's led for over 20 laps consecutively now, longest that he has led consecutively in the race today. Again, because of the draft, that's why neither one of these two are able to pull away from each other. We expected that coming into the race. The only thing we weren't really expecting a whole lot was that we'd see two drivers pull away from the pack as much as what we did at the start of the race as these two when Kenseth was leading and Johnson was in second. Johnson swerving back and forth, trying to break the draft through the tri-oval now. J.R. Jones in the 176 car will be the next lap car from the leaders. Yeah, on a steel chair, too. It was definitely a fitting end to the storyline. I don't expect that storyline to keep going. I don't know. I mean, it could have went either way. Like, honestly, like, the way the storytelling was throughout the entire storyline, I feel like it could have went to either one and they wouldn't have lost. Like, that was probably the biggest toss-up match. That was probably what was maybe, in my opinion, compelling about it, too, is, like, I literally didn't know going into the match, have a good idea if one or the other was going to win. Great match. Story of the summer. In WWE, at least. Good stuff. That bump Rollins took, though, off the cell and through the table on the outside. I mean, the table's supposed to, like, break the fall. That's the idea of the table spots, but, like, it looked like he went through it so fast that, like, I mean, he had to have felt the floor pretty good on that. It wasn't as forgiving as it probably should have been. At least it didn't look like it. I mean, I guess that's the idea, but... Oh, you don't think it's going to be over yet? I just feel like with it being the rubber match, that's... I mean, it could go to Mania, but I don't know what more they could do, though. They've already fought Hell in a Cell. Like, what would be the next stipulation to top that? Unless they bring, like, Beth Phoenix into the mix and Seth does something to her or something. I mean, that's the only... It's the only way I can see that storyline continuing. Which, if that ends up happening, you can look at me. You can turn to me and say, he called it. He called it. If that storyline's going to continue, I just feel like that's the next route they're going to go. Because they kind of teased it a couple times, but they never actually went through with it. Where Rollins, like, went to his house, but nobody was there. Like, they could end up doing that next, and if they do, then I guess the storyline would continue. Three stages of hell. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. It's crazy though, because you haven't really seen a rivalry that good in the WWE without a title on the line in a really long time. And now we got a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. Lap 99, our first caution of the race today. Casey Kane has crashed into the outside wall. Turns 1 and 2. Looked like Dave Dunn in the 172 just missed him. How did Casey Kane miss every car spinning up the racetrack? There were like 5 or 6 cars around him, and he just threaded the needle as the car stepped out from underneath him. Well, this is a caution in a very weird spot. It was right when a lot of drivers had already made their pit stop, but now at lap 99 with the caution, everybody who has a pit will pit now. They're pitting before what they actually wanted to go. Johnson felt he could have went another 2 or 3 laps, but the caution at lap 99, he's got to pit a couple laps sooner than what he originally intended. So although it looked like he was going to be good on fuel to make it up 4 stops at the end of the race, now with this weird caution in a very weird spot in the race, not sure if that's entirely going to be the case. Problems on the front tire changer as well for Johnson and this pit crew. A very costly stop, 19 plus seconds for Jimmy Johnson. Look at all the positions he has lost. And whoever was on the pits, or in the pits when the caution wave, will be ahead of Johnson as well. Green flag back in the air. Johnson will restart in 8th after being the leader heading into the pits. And with a lot of cars trapped a lap down now with that weird caution, this is going to be a crazy restart here at California. Johnson gets to the bottom after a couple lap cars get around him there initially. And they're already fanning out 3 by 3 off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Johnson can't get underneath Michael Waltrip there. Went as low as he possibly could go down the back straightaway. They are fanning out some more. Johnson flying by. Kenseth caught in the middle of the pack. Cars scattering around everywhere. See Rusty Walls up there. I wonder if he's a lap down or on the lead lap. Jeff Gordon blocking his teammate Jimmy Johnson. I don't think a casket match would really make much sense with those two. See Casey Kane still in the race after crashing. All on his own. Nobody else was luckily collected. Got that car fixed about as well as they could have. 3 wide in front of the 48 of Johnson. Look at how low Jimmy goes. Off the exit of turn 2, trying to squeeze into that gap as well. Dropped in with Bobby Labonte on the inside. Now slides underneath Labonte into turns 3 and 4. Labonte's a lap down. Ryan Newman is the leader. Johnson, though, up to second place now. Blocks Harvick into the tri-oval. Big run coming now on the 12. Jimmy Johnson to the inside for the lead now into turn 3 underneath Ryan Newman. Johnson has cleared Ryan Newman off turn 2. An official lead change, assuming he leads back to the start-finish line. He holds Newman off again in 3 and 4, so now Johnson's got the clean air. But a lot more cars in the draft. It's going to be a lot harder to stop these runs compared to when it was only the 17 and the 48 pulling away out from the field. So the fuel mileage situation is even tighter than what it already was. It's looking like it as tight as it was again, and caution only making things even more interesting, really. And I'm not sure if I mean, not everybody pit according to our crew chief, but I'm trying to think if everybody on the lead lap pit. I would assume everybody on the lead lap pit, because they wouldn't have been on the lead lap if they would have pit before the caution. And those were probably the drivers that did stay out to get the wave around, if I had to guess. And we don't get a live leaderboard in this game, so it's hard to tell for sure. I mean, again, it could be, but honestly, like, I just don't see those two continuing the storyline. Honestly, I feel like it's done. I don't know what's next for them, but tune in Monday to find out. Once Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick started racing each other back and forth, passing one another, it seems like Johnson's slowly getting away. Not going to be for long, though. Johnson breaking the draft on the inside of the track down the back straightaway. He's doing what he can right now to pull away from Ryan Newman. We know Kenson's got a strong car. It's taking him a little bit to get through the field right now, though. Newman and Harvick have closed back slowly on the 48 car, not quite within striking distance to make a pass into turn one this time. Johnson going low in the tri-oval, nobody else really following him down there. 198 miles an hour on corner entry into turn one. Backing it to about 168 miles an hour in the middle of the corner, trying to gas it back up again down the back straightaway. About 196 miles an hour into turn three. Dropping it to, again, about 168, 166 now at the slowest point. In the middle of 3 and 4. Newman is close this lap to the start-finish line to the back bumper of the 48. Newman's got one win this year. In fact, he's the only driver to win in a Dodge this season. And he's currently sitting 5th in the point standings. And Harvick to the inside of Johnson in the middle of 1 and 2. Harvick is a lap down. He'll clear Johnson off the exit of 2. Johnson trying to block Ryan Newman. Harvick going to go really wide now in 3 and 4. Johnson crosses him back over. Clears Harvick off the exit of turn 4. So Harvick got back on the lead lap initially. Now he's right back again to being the first driver 1 lap down. Newman underneath Kevin Harvick into turn 1. Johnson trying to block both lanes before heading to the bottom all on his own here. And as these drivers battle each other, there's a hungry pack of cars from 3rd position on back with some lap cars included. Trying to hustle and get to these three now as they start to shake it up a little bit between each other. Good block by Jimmy Johnson. As again, he holds on to the lead. With Kenseth not in striking distance to getting this lead back, it's allowing Johnson to maybe getting closer to being able to get 10 bonus points and lead the most laps in the race today. Primarily, again, though, it has just been a super clean race for Jimmy Johnson. He's just really, really hoping he can keep this up as the race progresses. We'll be halfway home in 10 laps. We'll hit that cross flags halfway mark in the race. It's going to be a question mark, and a big one at that, on whether or not it's going to be a 2 or 3 stop race to the finish. That caution coming out at lap 99. Again, 2 to 3 laps before Johnson wanted to pit, or felt he could have pit. We know he can make it at least 51 laps. With how far he was able to take it on that opening fuel run. Kevin Harvick to the inside now of Ryan Newman. And now he's underneath Jimmy Johnson into 1 and 2. Newman's stuck right now on the high side, though, behind the 48 car. Harvick clears off turn 2 with another clean pass. And that time he didn't slip up the track either. In fact, Johnson was the one who got a little loose into turn 3. And out the 29 in front of him, Harvick has the clean air. That means Jimmy Johnson a little bit dirty air in the middle of the corners when running the same line as the 29. That might not be good for Jimmy, and it may give Ryan Newman the lead back. Yeah, the Daytona 500 winner missing the chase. It's not a win and you're in points format with the inaugural chase. It's strictly the top 10 drivers in points at the end of the first 24 races in this season, setting up for the 10-race playoff. Newman going to draft off Harvick. Jimmy trying to take a shorter route in the tri-oval this time. Trying something different, see where it gets him. That 29 car is looking strong, though. Jimmy can't really put pressure on him. Johnson drafting with him down the back straightaway, but Newman's also drafting off of Jimmy Johnson. Fastest lap of the race that last time by for Johnson, 38.175, as we're almost halfway through the third fuel run of the race. Predict Kyle Busch sweeps the stages at Kansas tomorrow. He won there earlier this season. He's been good on the mile and a half this year, too. As far as the drivability between Kansas and Texas, far different from one another, though. So, even though Kyle Busch had a good car last week at Texas, but it wasn't a race-winning car, that could be different when we get to Kansas this weekend. The package itself is the same, but the tracks are completely different, despite both being 1.5 mile racetracks. Johnson's almost seemingly drafting with Harvick when he is in line behind him and he's able to pull away from Newman. Kind of like what Johnson was able to do with Kenseth earlier. Just like with Kenseth, though, Jimmy's not really close enough to make a pass. Harvick a little bit wider in turns 1 and 2 that time. Johnson all over the back of the 29. Johnson tried to side draft the 29 of Harvick, but he couldn't do it. Just wasn't quite underneath him. Busch or Logano is your picks, or are you asking me about Busch or Logano? I don't have enough stats for tomorrow's race yet, so I don't want to really talk too much about the race tomorrow. That, and we haven't had the predictions video yet either, but I gotta do more research tonight after the stream, or well, depending on what time this race gets done, I might just go to bed and get an early start tomorrow. Get that video uploaded. But we will be streaming at noon tomorrow on the channel. And no, the predictions video will be up on the channel before the start of tomorrow's race. Not sure if it will be up before we stream at noon or not. Hoping it is, but it just depends on, by the time everything's good to go, how long it's going to take to process, because sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it takes like 7 minutes, and sometimes it takes a couple hours. I don't know. YouTube's kind of finicky with it. On my channel, at least. Harvick's kind of gapped Johnson just a little bit the last lap and a half to 2 laps. And Newman's kind of closing back in on the 48 car, it looks like a little bit as well. Halfway home here tonight at the California Speedway. 250 of the 500 miles complete. $125 laps to go. And at least 2 more, maybe 3 pit stops. So we did get 1 caution today, and usually the caution would break up the fuel mileage race, but in this case, it made the fuel mileage race even tighter with the caution coming out at lap 99, a few laps before Johnson was going to be able to pit at either lap 101 or 102. Presumably now he's going to struggle just to make it to lap 150. Halfway out of fuel at lap 126 that last lap. Harvick's in a good spot if we get a caution, though, because he's on the lead lap. Jimmie Johnson's green flag stop was very clean and very fast. But that pit stop under the caution was over 19 seconds. Front tire changer had an issue on the left front tire. And in fact, the last 3 pit stops that had errors for the 48 team was all in the front tire changer. Only the first 2 times it was the right front tire. This time it was the left front. It's still the same front tire changer. If this was NASCAR Thunder 2004 career mode, he would be fired. But that is not the case with this. Mr. Rick Hendrick has the ability to fire people. Jimmie Johnson does not on the season modes. Newman has closed the gap, though. He's gotten a good draft these last few laps on Johnson. Johnson doesn't seem to be running as quick as times as what he was the first half of the run either. Running right around 38 high 2s, 38 3s. Newman sends it into 1 and 2. What a move. Not going to be able to clear Johnson yet, though. Jimmy gets the run off turn 2 on the high side. Newman is there, though. Johnson with a big block into 3. And I mean big. I thought Newman was going to clip the left rear of Johnson, but I think he let up just a little bit extra into the corner and let Johnson in. Johnson was committed to moving down on top of the 12 car. Well, that's going to be interesting too. Dale Jarrett, according to the crew chief, Chad Knaus on the 48 crew of Johnson. Dale Jarrett going to try to get back out on the racetrack. He had blown an engine earlier on lap 80, about 50 laps ago, but maybe making his way back up onto the racetrack. Now, our crew chief did say the same thing about Brian Vickers last night at Bristol, but that never actually happened. Vickers just kind of stayed on pit road the entire race, so maybe that'll be the case with Jarrett, but we'll see. Especially the second half of the regular season as the races start to dwindle down. We've seen a lot of drivers come out of the garage that blew an engine earlier in the race to try and pick up as many points as they can, although Jarrett is eliminated from chase contention after blowing the engine and falling many laps down in this one, but likely wasn't going to make it anyway. Can still fight for as good as an 11th place points finish here over the last 11 races following this one tonight. Blocked there by Johnson down the back straightaway, the 12 of Newman. You have to say, though, Johnson's car's got a lot more grip on corner entry than what it did at the start of the race. Those adjustments he made during the first pit stop has really, really helped. He's obviously led more after the first stop compared to leading up to the first stop when he was in line behind Kenseth for a while, too, so I'm sure that helps. Kenseth's picker had a pretty fast first green flag stop. They weren't so hot under the last caution, not as bad as Jimmy Johnson's crew, but see if they can maybe get a couple quick green flag stops if it does go green to the end and get back into this race, perhaps. Oh, Newman with a deep dive into 3 again. Will he be able to clear this time? Off turn 4. No, he will not. Again, Johnson with the run. And Jimmy got the run off the banking to hold on in front of the 12 of Newman. So second time Newman has gotten underneath Jimmy Johnson during this field run, but he has not been able to actually clear him. And by not clearing off the exit of the corner, Johnson side drafts his way right back around down the straightaway, plus the run off the banking of the corner, almost making contact into 3. Johnson out of the rear view saw the 12 take the dive bomb to the inside. He wanted to go down and block him, but Newman was already there, almost making contact with one another. Johnson leads another lap in the line. And again, he's trying to pinch the 12 car off, but this time going into turn 1, Newman is still there. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to clear off turn 2, though. Johnson is holding on strong. Side drafts the 12 off the exit of the corner. Oh, this is a very big pinch there by the 48. Newman pretty flat going into turn 3. Holds it. Johnson side drafts the right rear corner panel. Newman wanted to move up, but he couldn't. Look at how close they are to one another. And Johnson again leads another lap at the line. A little touch there. Johnson again holds on to the lead. I mean, they barely touched. Barely. But they are definitely putting everybody's butts on the edge of their seats. For those of you watching at home, the virtual fans in the stands included. Jimmy got loose into 3. It's been a while since he's done that. He's pushing hard to stay in front of Newman right now. Loose off the exit of 4, too. He was loose all the way around that corner, and Newman will clear in the tri-oval. Just like that, Ryan Newman back to the lead. Jimmy dives now into 1 and 2. He's not done with the battle yet. Sends it into the corner, and he clears Newman back. Great racing between Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson, the two 2002 rookie drivers. Newman, the Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year runner-up in 2002 was Jimmy Johnson. Johnson coming off his 10th win of the season last night at the Bristol night race in the Sharpie 500. Trying to make it an 11th win of the season while Newman's looking for his second. Yeah, sure, Eric Eastep's happy as Houston Astros are back in the World Series again. Newman got really tight into turn 3 that time. And look at who's in third place. I believe it is Matt Kenseth in the 17 has worked himself back to third. It's taken almost the entire of this fuel run for him to work his way through the traffic and pull ahead with the 12 and 48 battling. Kenseth is closing. There's a car behind Kenseth also closing, so they're drafting together trying to work with each other to get up towards the front of the field by the end of this fuel run. And also with these two battling of Newman and Johnson, Kevin Harvick, who's the last car in the lead lap, is just absolutely pulled away from these guys. So look out for Harvick if we get another caution. He can be a contender as well. I didn't really think of Newman being a contender, although he did lead the first few laps of the race today. Got 10 laps to lap 150 this time by. Newman a lot wider in 3 and 4 for the second straight lap. Johnson going to gap him a little bit again. Johnson doesn't have anybody to draft off of this time, though, is the big issue. Went to the apron through the tri-oval to try and break the draft on Newman. Worked initially, but now down the back straightaway, Newman's right there again. Newman to the high side. Oh, and there's contact as they go up the track. My goodness. What a close call that one was as well. Kenseth's about to lose third place. And I believe it's Dale Jr. who won 2 races ago on the last 2-mile racetrack in Michigan. Remember, Kenseth's still searching for his first win of the season as well. It'd be only the second win for Ford this year. They have not won since the season opener in the Daytona 500 where Elliott Sadler won. I believe it is Dale Jr. who has cleared Kenseth for position. Johnson all over the place. He was trying to break the draft down to the apron. He got loose down there. Almost overcorrected the car, but at least he was able to clear the 12 of Newman when that happened. But in doing that, it stalled the 12 car out as well. And here come the 17 and the 8. A 4-car battle for the lead at the end of the fuel run. Newman blocking Kenseth as Johnson blocks Newman down the back straightaway. Junior up high, Newman up high now. Kenseth for second place. It's going to create a lot bigger runs for the second place car now that there's more drivers up in the running here. Johnson again down to the apron. He's doing what he can. Kenseth to the high side. Going to try to pass up high into 1 and 2. Johnson gave it to him, and now he clears in the center of the corner. And here comes Dale Jr. to the inside. 48 slid up. The right rear tire went into the yellow in the middle of the corner, and he didn't have the rear tire grip he needed. Jr. couldn't quite get around Kenseth, though, either. Kenseth gets tight, and he goes up the track. The 12 as well behind him does. Dale Jr. to second, and maybe for the lead. Not quite that time. Jimmy throws another block. Junior for the lead into 1 and 2. He has not led all night long. He is not clear off turn 2 either, though. Johnson puts it in the wall, though. And with Jimmy making the mistake off the exit of turn 2, that allows Dale Jr. to clear for the lead. Ryan Newman pits that time by. Now it's a 3-car race for the lead. Johnson looks low. Junior will lead his first lap of the race, 5 bonus points. Just enough. Ahead of the 48. Johnson clears him into 1. Dale Jr. with the crossover to the bottom. Jimmy trying to get the car to cut now off the exit of the corner. A double crossover now. Junior crossed over Johnson. Johnson crosses Junior over. Jimmy with the run into 3 on the inside. Dale Jr. drives it hard on the top. Kenseth's still right there again. Johnson clears Junior off turn 4 as he goes a little wide. Oh, very, very risky block on the 8 car. That was not a good run down to the apron that time. And that just gave Dale Jr. the race lead. Oh, almost gave him the lead. Johnson side drafted him in the middle of the corner. Junior wanted to go even lower down the back straightaway, but Kenseth was already there. And all of a sudden, these drivers have been racing like it's the last lap of the race. Jimmy slides wide again. Kenseth and Junior to the inside. Matt Kenseth almost clear off turn 4, but not quite. Back to the start-finish line. Kenseth leads the lap. Johnson on the high side. Kenseth down low. Junior trying to draft with the 17 car. Jimmy again slides the tires into turn 3. Kenseth should clear this time. I'd be shocked if he does not. Oh yeah, he easily clears. Contact between Dale Jr. Jimmy Johnson. Off the exit of 2. Kenseth pulls him into 3. Junior to the high side now into turn 3. Jimmy again trying to fend him off with a loose race car. Kenseth will pull the pit road, leaving Johnson and Junior out on the racetrack trying to take their run as far as they can on fuel so they can potentially make it on 2 stops. Business picking up now in the early going to the second half of the Pop Secret 500. Hopefully you guys have your popcorn on hand for this race because you need a snack to get you through the long 500-mile races, and who doesn't like snacking while watching NASCAR? Junior not going to be able to clear Johnson off turn 4. Jimmy holding strong on the high side with the side draft. Junior won on a photo finish at Michigan. If that was the final lap, Johnson would have beat Dale Jr. to the line. Doesn't look like Junior is going to be able to clear off the exit of turn 2 here. Jimmy Johnson's still there. Even on old tires, he holds the outside fairly well for the most part. Trying to pinch the 8 car of Dale Jr. down into turn 3. Junior to the apron that time. Johnson slid up the track. He entered a little too flat. I don't know how Junior was able to hold the corner at those speeds. Johnson side drafts him, though, off the exit of the corner. Jimmy beats him back to the line. Almost made contact. That was very close. Junior trying to side draft the 48 back again. Look at how close they are. Jimmy slides big time into 1. Junior's going to have the lead. I don't know how they didn't make contact. Look at how the 17 and the 12 cycled out of the pits as well. Johnson crosses Junior to the inside. Jimmy Johnson will pit this time by. I think Dale Jr. is going to want to pit as well. Johnson a little contact with Junior. I don't think Junior is going to be able to pit this time. Johnson forced him out on the racetrack an extra lap. With a little contact, though. Unfortunately, it was not a clean force. Jimmy pits at lap 151. With 100 to go even, Jimmy Johnson hits the pits, hoping to make it on 2 stops. He's won 2 of the 3 fuel mileage races we've had in this Cup Series season to this point. So your Bulls are playing my Pistons tonight. Dale Jr. was able to make it another lap to pit road. Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth side by side for the eventual race lead as Newman will clear Kenseth off the exit of turn 2. not looking that great on fuel to the end of the race, though. From the time we went green, though, Jimmy Johnson was only able to make it 49 laps that run, from lap 102 to lap 151. It's the least amount of laps he was able to make it on a full green flag run in this race so far. He's going to have to make it 49 and 50 laps these last two runs to make it to the end of the race. Dale Jr. somehow cycled back to the race lead despite him being the last of the 4 cars to pit. That is a very fast pit stop by that 8 DEI crew. Newman's looking for the lead, though, and Kenseth is closing in the draft. With those guys battling each other right now, it's also slowing them down, giving Kenseth an even bigger run. I can say the same for Jimmy Johnson, although he's not in the draft quite yet. Probably will be on the back of the 17 in the tri-oval. So there was a 4-car race for the lead before that last pit stop. Now it's going to be a 4-car race for the lead after that last pit stop. Kenseth racing hard for every point he can. He wants to lead the most laps. He's the last driver above the cutoff line coming into this race on Rusty Wallace, but he needs to make it to the end of the race too. Kenseth drafted off of Newman. Johnson drafting off of Kenseth. Newman with a run to the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Johnson to the inside of Kenseth and Jr. 3 wide for second place. Jimmy with a 3 wide pass, and he puts Jr. in the wall. That was a big hit. Big hit into the outside wall. He pulled up way too soon on the 8 of Dale Jr. Heavy hit for Dale Jr. I think he got the worst of it, but Jimmy Johnson definitely took a lick there as well. As Newman and Kenseth drive away, Kenseth was able to evade everything to the inside, and Newman was ahead of everything. Really, the only time we've seen blocking gone bad in this one. Doing pretty good, Dodgers and Harvick fan. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't have the game yet. I didn't get an early release like some other NASCAR YouTubers, so I do not have the game up to this point. I'll be getting it on Tuesday, though, and we will be streaming that opening night season mode race 1 Daytona 500. As far as the career mode itself goes, we will do career mode 2, but we're going to start off with our first season mode where you guys get to pick the driver. You guys will also get to pick the race team I race for in the career mode as well, so it just can't be the same team. So whatever team I'm on for the season mode, as far as like, if I'm say Hendrick Motorsports, I can't be Hendrick Motorsports in the career mode. It's got to be different. But outside of that, though, as far as the season mode goes, you guys get to pick whoever you want, except for BJ McLeod. That's the only one I can't run as because we had him for NASCAR Heat 4. But we had Johnson for Heat 5, so not going to have Johnson again. Oh, Kenseth just clipped the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Up the track goes Johnson. Newman to the inside, but he did not clear. Kenseth didn't lose that much ground. He just drove it in way too hard, and these drivers are all of a sudden being maybe a little over-aggressive with still just under 100 laps to go. Newman blocking all over the place down the back straightaway. Scattering back and forth between the 48 and the 12 that time. Johnson trying the high side. Big block by Newman. Got 91 laps to go still at Fontana. Newman blocking. Newman pulling a Newman right now. It's going to be tough for Johnson to get this run. Trying to back up turns 3 and 4. He's trying to use this draft to his advantage. Now he pulls out a line off 4. He got a bit of a run that time. Fortunately, it didn't really do anything for him. Low Newman's running down the backstretch. Johnson running low as well. A little too flat, though. He couldn't hold the corner as he drifts up. Newman drifting up as well. Newman almost got the wall off the exit of 4. Maybe a little looser himself that time. Jimmy went all the way down to the apron. Still just cannot get underneath the 12 of Newman. No drafting out behind the 48. We saw how tough it was for him to get around Kenseth earlier in the race. And kind of the same thing here with Newman. So hard to create the run by yourself. But I'd say Newman's blocking maybe more than Kenseth was earlier too, or having to block more. And I'd say Johnson also making the contact a few times as he used a little bit of his car up too much at the early going of the run to be able to try and make a pass on the 12. Again, down to the apron, nothing doing. He's trying to make that shortcut work. It's just not fully there. Newman with another block. Johnson finally underneath Newman down the back straightaway. Newman pinching him all the way down to the apron, though. And into 3. That was the first time Johnson actually got underneath the 12, but he couldn't make the pass. I think Roush should be pretty cool to run in the career mode. I'd be down for Penske, too. Be teammate with my guy, Blaney. I will, so keep an eye on the community tab, because I'm going to start to leave a poll. Either tonight or tomorrow morning will be the first poll as far as the votes for the career mode side of things with NASCAR 21 Ignition. So be on the lookout for it. The vote for the season mode will be in the chat on Tuesday night for the Daytona 500, but as far as the career mode goes, that will be polled because we're likely going to do premieres for the career mode. Johnson trying to get a run to the top again into 1 and 2. Trying to stick. Barely does. It's going to give him a decent run, though, off the exit of the corner. Might be the run he needs to get around Newman. Newman trying to block. Johnson again down to the apron. Newman not giving him any room. That was the best run Johnson has had yet. He got underneath the 12. He just can't complete the pass. Newman has been blocking for his life. And this is just insane. Can't vote for Blaney because I'm using him for the second season. We're running 2 season modes. Or our own season mode again if season mode isn't a gameplay option. But we'll do 2 seasons and then career mode. We'll probably do, I'm planning on at least 4 seasons of the career mode. If it takes us longer to win a championship, then we'll do more. But it's obviously going to depend on exactly how bad the game is, too. I overdid it with NASCAR Heat 5, and that wasn't a great game. This is honestly, for right now, looking worse. So we'll see. We'll definitely have a lot to start off with, though. I can guarantee that. I don't know if Johnson's ever going to get around Ryan Newman. I mean, this is just insane at this point. Newman maybe going to make a mistake. Hasn't really made a mistake yet. Johnson again down to the apron, into the tri-oval, pulls back up. That time he gets underneath the 12 on corner entry. Slid a little bit, but he clears Ryan Newman. After all the blocking Newman was doing for about the last 15 to 20 laps, Jimmie Johnson finally gets around him. Newman may get him back the next turn, though. Oh, my goodness. He's not going to clear, though. And it won't be an official lead change unless Johnson leads this lap at the line. It's going to be close. Jimmy does lead that time at the line. Barely. That last side draft at the last second on the 12 car was enough to lead the lap. So another lead change. See if Newman's going to clear off turn 2. He's trying. And be careful. Remember, it was Kenseth who made a bad block at Michigan, as Johnson actually slid into the wall by himself that time off the exit of turn 2. Jimmy again going to try the top into 1 and 2. Not going to work. Really low exit to the second turn, though. Newman couldn't make the block that time. Johnson goes up to side draft the 12. Now he pulls away from him. He's going to send it into 3. Really down low on the track. Almost makes contact as he slides up, but he does slide clear. Newman may have gotten out of the gas and let the 48 go there. Tristan Games, welcome to the stream. Newman again to the inside there. I mean, Jimmy just can't hold him off. It's just insane. That 12 car has not shown this kind of speed until this current run in this race. Johnson tried to side draft him. Newman tried to side draft him back. I think Newman's going to be clear off turn 4. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, barely. Johnson didn't lift and let him in, but Newman did pull clear. Jimmy's led a whole 2 laps during this fuel run. That's it. And now he crosses Newman back over. We got some lap traffic coming up here in the next few laps. Johnson clears Newman. Newman looking low. Johnson with the block down the back straightaway. Looked like Johnson actually gapped Newman a little bit off turn 4. I think the draft down the tri-oval with the 45 and Kyle Petty was helping the 48 car. Petty cleared the 143. Johnson going to clear that 143 car as well. So now that puts a lap car between the top 2. Johnson drafts Kyle Petty down the back straightaway now. Into turn 3, Petty goes wide. He's going to let Johnson go. Newman underneath the 143 car. Johnson clears Petty off turn 4. Another lap car between the top 2. There is a lot more lap traffic coming up, though, in the near future. We haven't seen Dale Jarrett come back out on the racetrack yet, so I think my crew chief was bluffing again, just like he did last night with Vickers at Bristol. Said he was going to come back out on the track after he blew an engine. Never did. Jarrett blew an engine early in this race. He said the same thing. And that was like during the last fuel run, too. That was before the green flag stops. We still haven't seen him. If he's out on the track, he would not be on all 8 cylinders. I can guarantee you that. He'd be off the pace and really slow. And we've seen that in a few races this season already. In multiple series, for that matter. Drivers have tried to do that in this game. Side-by-side traffic in front of Johnson. Scott Wimmer in the 22, the 132 of Ben Baldwin. Then we got a pretty good jump into 3 on the inside, but not close enough on corner entry to get underneath the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson going to take it 3 wide as Baldwin tries to cross over Scott Wimmer. Remember, it was Johnson who made a 4 wide pass on Kenseth in this similar situation. What's Ryan Newman going to do? Does he have anywhere to go? Newman, I think, is on the outside, stuck behind the 22 of Wimmer. Johnson got really loose into the corner. Newman didn't pinpoint it all the way down to the bottom, but he did get to the middle. Maybe trying to side draft the 48. Johnson leads the lap at the line, but Ryan Newman is there. And potentially could be looking for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Will he clear? Not this time. Side by side for the lead. Still Johnson with a mistake. Kind of slowed Newman down with him, though. Oh, man. Johnson tried to side draft Ryan Newman. Got into him. Jimmy losing all sorts of time. 2 mistakes in a row, 2 corners in a row. He's going to have to try and fight back. On the outside of Ben Baldwin, Ryan Newman on the inside of the 192 and the 177. Newman goes wide. Oh, no! Contact with the lap car in the 132. He got tight because they were 3 wide. With Johnson, who was in the middle, and he almost got turned by the lap car. Newman back in the lead. Jimmy got the run on the high side. Newman didn't block it that time. Jimmy Johnson side drafts Ryan Newman. I thought Newman was going to go 3 wide up the middle. Contact. Now he will go 3 wide up the middle. It's going to get tight. 4 wide now into turn 3. With the leaders in the middle of Newman and Johnson. 4 wide. There's contact. Hard into the wall. The 151 gets T-boned by the 12 of Ryan Newman. Jimmy Johnson going to drive away with the lead and somehow make it through about as unscathed as he could have. Second time we've seen 4 wide today for the lead. That time it was a near disaster. About as close to a disaster as you could get. And Newman has lost sight of the race leader. No caution. We stay green. And Johnson's got about a 1.8 second lead. I think the car on the bottom got into Ryan Newman. And now the 144 just pile drives into the back of Jimmy Johnson, sending him up the track. Not sure what that was all about, unless he was giving payback to Johnson, even though it wasn't Jimmy's fault. I mean, it was just 4 wide, no room to go. That was not pretty, that's for sure. again, I think the car on the bottom either stepped out and got loose with a little room for error, or he just, I mean, one way or another, he didn't hold his line. He got into Newman. Newman got into Johnson. Johnson got into the 144 on the outside, but it was the two cars who were on the bottom of the 151 and then the 12 of Newman who ended up in the wall. Now the lap cars are 3 wide, battling for the free pass position out of the rear view of Jimmy Johnson into turn 3. Will they make it into the corner? 3 wide works, 4 wide not so much. 4 wide worked earlier in the race, but not that last time though. Boy, that got ugly in a hurry. That's a big F in the chat for that. Johnson is losing that lead, though. It was 1.8 seconds. I could probably confirm that Newman is not in second place anymore. Again, we still have one more pit stop to the end. We don't know if we're going to get a second caution or not. Again, we've only had 1 caution in each of the last 2 races. We've had 2 or less cautions in 7 of the last 8 races. The only caution we had, or only race we had more than 2 cautions in that 8-race stretch would be at Watkins Glen, where we had 8 yellows in that race 3 races ago. Back on Wednesday night. I think whoever's in second place was drafted off the lap cars, and that's why they're closing in on Johnson. Johnson doesn't have any drafting help right now. That, he had to have used his tires up. He was battling Newman for a while. And then the contact and sliding quite a bit, too. Had to have burnt those rear tires out a little bit more also. And I don't think the 48's got the same speed in it. They'll repair damage when they make their next pit stop. He's going to have to wait it out a little bit before he does pit. Yeah, I thought the 151 car got T-boned side and he was spinning sideways enough that it was going to bring out a yellow, but it just never did. Never transpired. Tough break for Newman. But now it's back to the Johnson and Kenseth show, which is what it was those first 99 laps before the caution at the beginning of the race. About to be back to it again, almost 100 laps after the fact. Took a while to get to just these two again, but I guess, you know what they say, the faster cars find their way to the front somehow. And that is the case here with Johnson in the lead and Kenseth in second. These two still have to be very close on laps led in this race. I think Johnson's probably led more up to this point now, but he has not clinched the most laps led by any means, and especially Kenseth reeling him in. Jimmy may have a little bit too much damage. Remember, he made a pretty big hit into the wall at the very beginning of the run with Dale Jr. as well. On top of the contact with Ryan Newman there, although he didn't end up in the wall the last time with the contact with Newman. But Kenseth is there, and they are going 4 wide again off the exit of turn 4. I don't know if they're going to make it back there. You don't need to caution this early before lap 200. The window is not open to make it yet for anybody that is to pit really in the next 6 or 7 laps. Kenseth looks low off turn 2. He is there. Big block by Jimmy Johnson, and he about turned himself. Contact now with the 17 of Kenseth as they make it into 3. Big mistake there by Johnson. A illy timed block. Kenseth will lead this lap at the line. 60 to go. They're racing aggressively and doing it cleanly earlier. They have not done it cleanly at all this entire field run. First 150 laps, spectacular race, and it has gotten sloppy over the last 30 to 40 laps. Johnson trying to regain the lead. Throwing another block perhaps on Matt Kenseth into turn 3. This time he's clear at least. And I think that's Ryan Newman who's right back in the hunt again. After Kenseth and Johnson got together a lap and a half ago. Kenseth looks low again. Johnson with another block on the 17. Kenseth's going to go high to try and block Ryan Newman, and he does. Newman with a crossover to the inside. Johnson going to go wide now as well. Kenseth blocks Newman, gets underneath Jimmy Johnson. Newman pits that time. Kenseth to the lead off turn 4. Long time coming. But the 17 of Matt Kenseth is back out in front of Fontana. Johnson clears Kenseth back. Off turn 2. Is that Casey Kane in the mix? Kane spun out, backed it into the wall hard in turns 1 and 2 earlier for the first and only caution of the race. And I think he's going for the lead. He passes Kenseth. He's underneath Jimmy Johnson, the rookie, after spinning. Casey Kane. What a second half of the race he's had now. And how do they get that car fixed enough for him to have this speed with the damage? Oh, man, Johnson really loose. Great job keeping off both cars underneath him, but he's going to lose some ground. And Casey Kane leads for the first time all night long. Johnson looking low. Contact with Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth. Off the exit of turn 2. Kenseth's going to go low. Jimmy Johnson trying to go high. He's not going to get there, though. Johnson going to take it 3 wide for the lead into the tri-oval. 3 by 3. With 56 to go into turn 1. Johnson clears them all. The 17 and the 9 were side drafting each other enough through the tri-oval. Kenseth not done yet, though. He is down low. Johnson will go even lower. Jimmy gets a little loose into 3. Kenseth almost gets into him. Johnson slid all the way across the front bumper of the 17, and Kenseth will pull clear. Johnson crisscrosses now on Matt Kenseth. What a race. It was sloppy there for a little bit. The last 5 or 6 laps has been super clean between these 3, but they are on it. Matt Kenseth is going to hit pit road off turn 4 this time. A lot of these guys are pacing fairly short on fuel. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream. I did get my new controller. I got it a few days ago, actually. I got it on Thursday. So Thursday when we did the doubleheader with the Darlington Busch race and then the Cup race at Michigan, we've had the new controller since then. And it's working really, really well, too. Ryan Newman, who's already pitted, drafting with the leaders, Casey Kane and Jimmy Johnson, as they stay out one more lap off turn 4. Johnson doesn't want to lose too much time to both Kenseth and Newman. There's Kenseth. He doesn't want to lose too much time to Newman as well. So he may pit this time by. Newman clears Casey Kane off turn 2. Johnson's made it as far, or has paced himself well enough to make it 52 laps, which is what he'd have to go to the end of the race if he pits now. So he will pit. He believes that window is open. Casey Kane going to pit as well right now. Johnson trying to carry a lot of speed into the pits. Has to make sure he doesn't speed and doesn't as he locked the brakes up in time. 4 tires and fuel for Jimmy Johnson. No adjustments. And this is it. Final stop of the race. Barring another caution. Who will win it? Jimmy's crew needs a clean stop. They're 2 for 3 today on clean stops, and the only non-clean one was under caution. Green flag stops, though, are a little more costly if you mess up. Clean stop, though, that time. 70% chance of rain tomorrow. That stinks. Hopefully the rain stays away. Hopefully. Ooh, boy, big drift getting up to speed. Kenza trying to side draft the 48. Clears him. Dale Jr. still out there in the race. Oh, Kenseth's pitting again. I think he was outside the window and he's having to go back in and top off, so Kenseth will pit again. Well, that is a risky pit here for Matt Kenseth. Dale Jr. race leader in the pits. I'd say things are getting more and more interesting as the race progresses. $50 laps to go, this time by at Fontana. Yeah, hopefully the race does not get rained out tomorrow. Kevin Harvick's still on the racetrack as well. He's 5 seconds ahead of Johnson. He has not made his stop because, remember, he was one of the last cars on the lead lap anyway. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2. Monday through Friday shift, pretty good. I'm assuming you get the holidays off? Holiday falls on a Monday through Friday? I don't know. Every place is different. Anymore, it seems like most places work or open holidays now. Well, there's Ryan Newman. Johnson's closing back in on him. For now. How much longer is Kevin Harvick going to stay out of the pits? Well, the thing is it's Central Time Zone. So 2 p.m. like 1 p.m. start time's good. I think it doesn't have to be noon. 1 p.m. is good. They started at 1 p.m. for a long time. Didn't have much of a problem with it. Generally speaking, for most people. We're trying to block Johnson again. Oh boy, almost making contact. 3 wide into turn 1. This is for the lead. Jimmy slides up the track, but he luckily cleared the 12. And the lap cars included, who are on the outside as well. Joe Nemechek. Newman almost got into Nemechek off turn 2. I'd say the races need to start at 1 or earlier for their standard time. The race is starting at 3 tomorrow Eastern. But because it's Central Time, it would actually be 2 o'clock there. So they should ideally start at 2 Eastern tomorrow at the latest. My personal opinion. Ever had Columbus Day off from school? Oh, we had Columbus Day off all the time. That was always the teacher in-service day. Yeah, we pretty much had like one holiday or teacher in-service day off. Because September, when school started, it was always Labor Day. Then it was Columbus Day. Then you'd have your Thanksgiving break, your Christmas break. In January, you would finish up the Christmas break, but then you'd also have Martin Luther King Day off. February, you had President's Day off. March sometimes would be Easter by that point. March or April would be Easter. And then Memorial Day towards the end of the year because we didn't get out until like the first weekend of June, usually. So we pretty much had like one in-service day a month. One in-service day or a vacation because of the holidays a month. It's back to a two-car race again, but right now it's between Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman. Most of the field is short on gas to the end of the race. We actually saw Kenseth pit twice. He pitted once, and then about 4 or 5 laps after he pitted originally, he pitted again, thinking he may have been short on fuel, which he pitted a few laps even before Johnson did. And Johnson's like right on the edge. So he topped off. Maybe taking fuel only just to try to stay on the lead lap perhaps, but that is risky. If a lot of drivers end up making it compared to him, or if a caution comes out, and he's going to lose a lot of track position unless he is still on the lead lap. If he is somehow still on the lead lap, caution would actually restart him in the lead because then he'd stay out, but then he'd also be on older tires if that happened. So it's a risky strategy for sure. We'll see how it pans out for Kenseth. It's going to be either good or it's going to be bad, so just have to wait and find out. Very surprising that they didn't just go with the same strategy as everybody else, considering the fact that he's the last driver in on points right now above the cutoff line. Ray Parker in the 141, the lap car, trying to cross Jimmy Johnson over. This may hold Johnson up and allow Newman to get a run. Parker was already 1 lap down, I believe. Johnson throws the block down the back straightaway. Newman to the inside of Parker. So although it held Johnson up a little bit, it looked like Newman got held up a little bit on corner entry into 3 behind Parker as well. Oh, if it's supposed to be clear later tomorrow night, yeah, they'll run the race at night. See, if a track has lights, which unfortunately a lot of the rain races this year, tracks haven't had lights. New Hampshire didn't have lights. Pocono didn't have lights. We almost had an issue there. Wow, another Ford is blowing an engine. Greg Biffle up in smoke in turns 3 and 4 as he tries to nurse it to pit road. 40 laps to go this time by the way. At the California Speedway, Johnson in the lead by a few car lengths over Ryan Newman. But if there's lights on the track, NASCAR usually holds off. If the radar looks like it will clear up and they can get the track dry, if it means they're running at night, they'll run the race. They did it with Chicagoland when I was there, and I knew they were going to do that because on the radar, yeah, we were supposed to have rain for a couple hours in the middle of the afternoon like we did. But once it passed through, they were clear the rest of the day, end of the nighttime, so they finished it at night. Especially with it being a playoff race, they're going to do that. It's just Talladega, New Hampshire. There's been some other tracks this year. There's been rain issues. COTA. Like, all those tracks don't have lights. So that's why they either rain shortened or darkness shortened. And the rain situation, played a factor into that because those tracks don't have lights. But if a track's got lights and the radar looks like it'll clear, even if it won't be till nighttime for it to clear, they'll run. I mean, look at the Daytona 500 this year. That's exactly what happened with the Daytona 500. 5-hour rain delay, but they knew it would clear up by the end of the night. Even if that means resuming the race at 9 p.m., if they can get it in the same day of the scheduled race, they're going to try to do it. It helps the teams from having to stay an extra day. It helps the fans in attendance as much as they possibly can. Now, most of the fans do leave from races I've been at that have had rain delays. If the rain delay is longer than a couple hours, you typically start to see people leave. for one reason or another. But more people will likely stay till the nighttime, knowing they probably have a hotel if they travel that night, planning on going back the next morning. But usually they can't go back to the track the next day. It's usually only locals that are able to stay the next day. I fortunately have off Monday, so if that ever happened for me, I'd be all right, as long as it only rained one day. But I'd also have to drive home right after the race, though, too. So on Monday, I wouldn't be able to go back to the hotel or something and then come back the next day. I'd have to drive home right after the race, but at least I'd be able to watch the race. It would just be a long drive home and then a short night's sleep before work the next day. But not everybody is that lucky, I guess. Kansas does have lights, yes. Remember, they ran night races for a while at Kansas. They just, for whatever reason, last year and this year, don't have night races. The spring race was always at night. Well, I guess last year they ran it at night because of COVID, but it wasn't scheduled to be night. So ended up running it like the middle of the summer. Well, 35 laps to go. Johnson leads Newman. I think Newman's short on fuel to the end of the race, though. He pitted right around lap 292. Or, sorry, lap 192 out of 250. So Johnson's not really worried about Ryan Newman. Honestly, the only thing Johnson's worried about is if we get another caution bunching the field back up again. Rain could end by... Oh, yeah, if it ends at 4, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Obviously, that could change, too, because we're still, like... I mean, the race isn't until tomorrow yet. The weather could change overnight for sure. Johnson clearly overdrove 3 and 4 that time. I mean, he had all 4 tires down below the apron. Newman had a pretty big run in the tri-oval because of the slip up in that last corner by Johnson. Johnson's got to be smart, though. Not be overly aggressive with Ryan Newman, knowing that Newman is not going to make it on fuel to the end of the race. And Johnson's quite a ways ahead of anybody else, so he just doesn't want to be at risk. Now, he'll definitely fight for the lead still because he would like to get the most laps led today in case he doesn't win. We did get a late caution, but Jeff Gordon would have had to lead the most laps, win the race, for Johnson to have to finish 10th or better if Johnson didn't lead any laps as well. Johnson has at least led 1 lap, so he has to finish 11th or better to clinch the regular season championship, even if Gordon wins. Gordon will not lead the most laps in the race because he hasn't led a single lap yet up to this point either. So if he won, he'd only get 5 bonus points. So that means also Johnson would now be able to finish 12th or better if Gordon wins. So Gordon wins. Johnson needs to finish 12th or better to clinch the regular season championship 1 race early. Again, we still got to run Richmond, which will be the last race of the regular season. And again, also that will be on the channel tomorrow afternoon, noon Eastern Standard Time on the channel tomorrow. Yeah, Priest's hard crash game in the night race. So did Eric Almirola's in 2018, too. William Byron and took a big hit on the front stretch in 2019. Or sorry, Almirola's hit was 2017, not 2018. And then 2018 was Byron's hard hit. Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Dirt Bristol this season, too. Remember it rained Sunday, but it looked like it was supposed to rain there like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday also. And ended up, they cleared up Monday and made it to the end. So you can only predict the weather to a certain extent. And usually I'm the person, like, if it's below 50%, I typically say it'll stay dry. Because, I mean, if it's less than 50%, then that means there's more of a chance that it won't rain versus a chance that it will rain. Oh, my goodness. What a move by Newman. Trying to split the Hendrick Chevys 3 wide up the middle. He passed the lap car of Labonte, who was up high, but the leader of Jimmy Johnson on the bottom was able to hold on to the lead as he tries to block through the tri-oval now on the 12 of Newman. Zigzagging back and forth with 28 to go. Labonte got to get to the inside of Newman now. Johnson's teammate trying to help him out. Labonte clears Ryan Newman. It's barely squeezed between Johnson and Newman off turn 4. That'll hold Newman up. Newman going low to try and draft off the 48 to get back to the inside of the 5 into turn 1. Newman just simply waiting it out as long as he can and hoping for a caution. Johnson just hit halfway on fuel. Lap 224. Newman flatlines it into 3. Still can't get to the inside of Johnson. Doing that, though, he got tight in the middle of the corner. Jimmy beat him back to the gas off the exit of 4. I figure Johnson pitted right at that point where the window was just open. If he would have pitted a lap sooner, I think he'd be short. But he should be good to the end on fuel. Well, the race is on NBCSN already. The race is not on the main NBC tomorrow. The race is scheduled to be on NBCSN. Newman to the inside into 1 and 2. Underneath Jimmy Johnson for the lead. Not going to clear yet. Johnson going to side draft. These two have raced clean during this final run of the race so far with one another. Really, though, this is the first chance Newman has had to try and make the pass for the lead. Will he be able to clear off turn 4 as they come to the line with 24 laps to go at the California Speedway? Big block by Ryan Newman off the exit of turn 4. Johnson going to cross him back over to the inside. Newman did lead the lap at the line. Jimmy cutting right back. The race for the regular season championship is on for the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Doesn't need to win it. He needs a top 12 at this point. Boy, to get that 11th win of the season, I need even more momentum into the playoffs. No playoff points for winning races. But everybody still wants to win. And, of course, remember, this is Jimmy Johnson's home track. He came close to winning here in California earlier this season, but he was not able to pull it off. Trying to do it here tonight. He did win in his home state at Infineon Raceway on the road course earlier this season. Newman not going to clear off turn 2. Got underneath Johnson. No clearance, though. Jimmy side drafts Newman down the back straightaway. Trying to side draft him in the middle of 3 and 4 now. Very close to making contact. These two better be careful. Johnson pulled him back enough. May get enough of a run off the back of the 77 of Gone on the high side in the tri-oval. Gone is Newman's teammate, though, so he may try to block the 48 car. Johnson doesn't want to get picked behind Newman's teammate, so he goes 3 wide up the middle and holds the 12 car tight. as they have been side by side for about 2 full laps now. Newman extremely low. Johnson trying to pinch him again into turn 3. They are not going to make it to the end of this fuel run, to the end of the race. Whenever Newman pits the way they are racing right now, close quarters for the lead. Jimmy leads that lap at the line again. A little bit of contact, though. $20 to go this time by. They both cleared the 77, have gone. Johnson swaying back and forth down the back straightaway, trying to block. Newman to the high side for the lead. Is he going to get there? Jimmy, I don't think anybody's made a pass on the high side. Johnson a couple times has gotten to the high side because somebody got underneath him for the lead and he fended guys off, but I don't think he's actually completed a pass up high. Newman's trying to do that now. He's almost clear into turn 1, but not quite. Johnson side drafted him enough down the front stretch to be able to hold on. And Jimmy clears Ryan Newman again off turn 2. And don't blink, but the 9 of Casey Kane is closing in, and Casey's still looking for his first win of his career, let alone of the season. Great crossover, faking high, going low for Ryan Newman. Can he clear off turn 4? Jimmy is still there. He will not be able to clear. 19 to go. Newman leads that lap in the line. What a race. We expected California to be another good one. These 2-mile tracks do not disappoint on this game. Newman is clear off turn 2. And he's got blocked for his life now in case we get a caution. Good job blocking down the back straightaway. Casey Kane trying to close back there in third. Look how low Jimmy Johnson's going off turn 4. He's doing all he can right now. He's trying different lines, trying to break out of the dirty air in the middle of the corners. Surprised he actually got it to stick there, but it didn't really hold up very fast, though, either. Johnson going to try that middle to upper groove now. In turns 3 and 4. Cuts low off the exit of turn 2. Great drive in the center of the corner for the 48. Both cars meet each other in the middle of the racetrack down the back straightaway, trying to side draft one another. Johnson forcing the 12 car up. Johnson going to force clear off turn 4. Newman gets tight off the exit of the corner. And Newman's in the wall off turn 4. Newman pushed way too hard on the high side in 3 and 4. Loses the lead. Hits the wall. Now he is in danger of losing second as Casey Kane's got a big run on the bottom lane. And Casey gets underneath Johnson in the 1 and 2. Jimmy slid up the track. And Casey Kane, the rookie, who's trying to win his first career race, shuts the door on Johnson off turn 2. Now we know Newman's short. Casey Kane and Johnson pit on the same lap. At lap 248, or sorry, again lap 1. See, I don't know why I keep saying 2. Lap 198. Both Kane and Johnson pit at the same lap. Newman is short, but we don't know if that's the same for Newman, Johnson, and Kane. Kane led that lap at the line. Great crossover off turn 4 to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. He clears Jimmy with ease off turn 2. But Newman might be in contention to get back out in front again. The draft down the back straightaway allows the 2 cars on the high side to pull clear. Johnson with a deep dive into 3. Slides a little bit. Stays in front of the 12, but he can't get underneath the 9. Johnson inside of Kane. Jimmy leads the lap, 15 to go. Johnson trying to get his 11th win of the year. Kane trying to get his first. Remember, Casey comes in 9th in the point standings into this race. Above the cutoff line. He's having a solid points day where he's at right now. Johnson cleared Kane, but so did Ryan Newman, and Newman actually got underneath the 48 that time. Side by side into 3 and 4. Can Newman clear? Kane drafting with the 48 car. For now, at least, Jimmy side drafts the 12. Johnson leads the lap of the line. 14 to go at Fontana. Contact between Newman and Johnson. That allows Kane to get the second. Not only the second, but Casey had a lot better corner in 1 and 2. Carried a lot more speed than what the 48 of Johnson did. That was a big mistake down the back straightaway by Johnson. Johnson back to third. Costly. We'll get back to the inside of Newman in the tri-oval. Casey Kane get his first career win out of the way before the chase, and maybe they could solidify himself a spot in the chase. Who knows where exactly Rusty Walls is running? If he's 156 points, more than 156 points to the good, he'll be locked in. A win scores you 180. He has led already, so he's got 5 bonus points. That'd be a 185-point day for Casey Kane if he goes on to victory lane. "12 laps to go." Does Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane have enough? Newman's short, but again, he is battling in case we get another caution. The only caution of the race so far was at lap 99, and in fact, it was Casey Kane who spun into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2, backed it into the wall. Kane tried to go for a spin and win here tonight at California. 11 to go this time by as he falls back to third. Newman is second. I'm not sure, but I think that's Dale Jr. back there at fourth who has closed the gap. And he was one of the last lead lap drivers to pit. Him and Harvick were the last 2 lead lap drivers to pit, though Harvick is a lot further back. He's hoping for a yellow to get back into this race as well. And Kenseth had already pit very, very early into this run, topping off on gas, knowing he was already going to be short, thinking it was going to play green to the end, which it might. No, we only got 10 to go this time by. Both right side tires in the yellow now for Jimmy Johnson. Newman will pit this time. So again, he was well short on fuel. Newman pits coming to 10 to go. Johnson, Kane, Jr., the top 3. We know Jr. is plenty good on fuel. Kane, Johnson, they should be. And Jimmy has led a lot of laps in this run, though. He hasn't really saved a lot, but you have to lead at this point. You only got 10 to go. Well, you're back at a good point, Tristan. Things are heating up. Rookie Casey Kane trying to get his first career win. And sorry, no, that's Jeff Gordon actually in third. Thought it might have been Dale Jr. I believe it is Jeff Gordon in the 24. Gordon has not led a single lap today, but he qualified on the pole. I have no clue if Gordon can make it on gas. No clue when Gordon last pitted. There's Newman out of the pits. He's a lap down. For his sake, he's hoping he'll be the first car lap down. We have no clue if Gordon's even on the lead lap. I mean, he could be a lap down too. No clue if he's on the lead lap or if he's good on fuel. We know Kane's at least on the lead lap. Jeff Gordon's all over the back of Casey Kane off turn 4. 8 to go this time by as the tires wear out more and more on Johnson's low Chevy. Blocking Kane, trying to break the draft now down to the inside. 198 miles an hour. 1/8 of a tank left of gas. With 8 to go still. That is not very great. Big block by Johnson on his teammate Gordon. At least he was clear. Speaking of clear, Gordon is to the outside now of Johnson. What a crossover. I don't know if it's going to work. He did a great job clearing Kane in 1 and 2. Tried the high side on Johnson, means Jimmy blocked the low side, and that allowed Kane to get underneath Gordon in 3 and 4. They're side by side to the line for second place. 7 laps to go now for Jimmy Johnson. Kane to the inside for the lead. Will he clear off turn 2? Not that time. Johnson with the run. Side drafted him enough. Can't pull clear though. Kane is now going to try to side draft Jimmy into 3. Jimmy trying to pinch the 9 car down. Kane again will not pull clear. 6 to go to the line and they're still side by side. Lap car, Casey Mears in the 41 is going to be in play here. Where will Gordon go? Again, not sure if he's even on the lead lap or if he can make it on gas to the end. Jimmy slides the tires a little bit on entry. That might have opened the door for Kane to clear off the exit, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Somehow Johnson was equally back to the gas with Casey Kane. He side drafts him. Maybe a little contact. The contact might have stalled the 48's run out. Gordon going to go not with his teammate, but with Casey Kane. Actually, Gordon's pitting this time, so Gordon's short on fuel. Gordon is short on gas. He'll pit this time. Kane trying to use Casey Mears as a pick. Oh no, Mears moves down in front of Kane now. It looked like Jimmy was going to get stuck behind the 9. Oh, and now he's back behind the 41. Johnson got really loose off 2. He didn't lift though. Where's Casey Mears going? He's down on the bottom. I think he's going to pit. Johnson trying to trap Kane. They're still side by side for the lead off turn 4. 4 to go. And both cars are pushing it on fuel at this point in the run. They are not saving whatsoever. Johnson with a side draft on Kane. They've been side by side for 3 laps. There's Gordon out of the pits. Kane might be able to clear. He's going to try to block Johnson on turn 2. Johnson keeps his foot in the throttle. Kane shuts the door. Casey Kane, the rookie, leads at Fontana. Johnson going to try to drive it deep into 3. Kane with a block to the bottom. Casey Kane trying to get his first career win. Johnson beats him back to the gas up 4. Looks high. Johnson brushes the wall. Kane still clear. 3 to go. I don't know if this fuel tank's going to make it to the end. Remember, Kane and Johnson pitted at the same lap. But they are battling for the lead. They are not saving. 2 to go this time by. Johnson clears Kane off 4. He just flat out beat him in that corner. They're going to run each other out of gas. Nerves have to be settling in on the 48. He's got to know the fuel situation. Kane, though, trying to cross him over. He's able to stay in a great draft down the front stretch. Lap and a half to go now. Got a lap car coming out of the pits on the inside. Johnson's out of fuel. Jimmy Johnson is out of gas. He ran it dry. He was a lap and a half short. Oh, that's unbelievable. And now he's got to coast it to pit road. He was way short on gas, about 3 miles. And rookie Casey Kane is going to lead the field to the white flag. Johnson has to pit. Another race on a 2-mile oval that he does not make it. It's going to be a splash and go for Johnson just to stay on the lead lap. And you'll get to see on the upper right-hand corner of the screen on the track map, will Casey Kane be able to make it to the end? Junior was closing in from behind. Jimmy Johnson was out of fuel, a lap and a half shy of the checker. Splash and go. He'll finish the race on the lead lap, but where will he finish? Checkered flag is waving off turn 4. Casey Kane is the winner. First career win for Casey Kane. It comes in the second to last race of the regular season. Jimmy Johnson's still going to get a top 10. 6th place finish. He had to finish 12th or better to win the regular season championship. So even though he ran out of gas, he will still take the checkered flag off 4. And although it's a heartbreaking loss, Johnson will at least clinch the regular season title tonight at California. But Casey Kane will get his first career win by about 4 seconds over Dale Jr. He pitted the same lap as Johnson, but somehow was able to make it on gas when Johnson was a lap and a half short. First win of the year for Casey Kane, the second win for Dodge on the season. And that might have locked Casey Kane into the chase. Whale of a finish indeed. Gonna pull up my my Google Docs here to see how many different winners that is this season. It's been a while since we've seen a different winner. So second win for Dodge this season. Casey Kane will get his first. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Eighth different winner of the year was Casey Kane in the first 23 races. And the streak of Chevy going to victory lane is over. 12 straight wins for Chevrolet has come to an end with Casey Kane winning tonight. A spin and win for Casey Kane. He brought out the only caution of the race. All those drivers that finished a lap down didn't make it on fuel. Johnson just went gas and go. He finished on the lead lap, but he was the last car on the lead lap, and 6 was also short on gas. Only 5 drivers made it on fuel to the end of the race. 2 hours, 49 minutes, the total length of the race, but a spin and win for Casey Kane's first career win. 50 lead changes in the 250 laps ran tonight. Kane led just 7 of them, all in the final 25 laps. Dale Jr. ends up finishing a very close second place. Almost got back-to-back wins on 2-mile racetracks. Tony Stewart, quiet but solid day, finishing 3rd. How about Michael Waltrip finishing 4th? Both DEI cars in the top 4. And Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 5. So the Chevrolet win streak comes to an end. But second through 7th were all Chevys, but the winner was a Dodge, Casey Kane. Johnson 6th, as mentioned. Jeff Gordon ended up 7th. He got 1 lap led in there, I guess. Must have been in the middle of green flag stops. So I guess with Gordon leading the lap, Jimmy would have had to finish 11th or better to win the regular season championship. Ryan Newman ends up finishing 8th. Matt Kenseth led 57 laps today, finished 9th. And Rusty Wallace gets a top 10. Matt Kenseth beat Wallace by 1 spot. That's important because Kenseth had the last spot in the chase right now. Coming into tonight's race over Wallace. Still 1 race to go in the regular season. That is tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time at Richmond. So you won't want to miss that regular season finale. Jimmy Johnson, 143 laps led today of the 250. But we led the laps in all 4 races on 2-mile racetracks this season. We didn't win a single one. We finished 2nd in 2 of them, 3rd and a 6th. Like, how does that happen every time? Whether it's a late caution, we ran out of fuel tonight. I don't know if we would have beat Casey Kane to the line. I don't know where he got that speed from, considering he crashed earlier in the race, but my goodness, what a drive by Casey Kane. Maybe a chase clinching drive at that. First career win for Casey Kane. And the first rookie to win a race this season as well. Poor Sadler, though, yeah. I forgot to check the finishing results. So Dale Jarrett and Elliott Sadler both blew engines. Sadler has now blown an engine in 7 of the last 9 races. So that is the running laugh there. Now we'll get to see if he can blow another engine in less than 24 hours at Richmond. Well, there it is. 225-point lead for Johnson. He has clinched the regular season championship. Most amount of points he can score in a single race is 190. Most amount of points you can gain in a race over another driver is 156. Johnson, although has clinched the regular season title, Gordon is not locked up for 2nd place. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has got a shot to overtake him for 2nd. Of course, Jr. beat Gordon today, gaining a few points on him. Kevin Harvick up to 4th in the standings. Ryan Newman 5th still. Tony Stewart still 6th. Casey Kane moves up 2 spots in points with his first win of the year. He's up to 7th in points. Dropping Kurt Busch back to 8th. Bobby Labonte 9th. Matt Kenseth still rounds out the top 10. And Rusty Wallace Still in 11th, obviously, there. So, again, the only driver below 10th, which only the top 10 on points, qualify for the chase. No winning you're in. It's strictly the top 10 in points. Rusty Walls is the only driver who mathematically could actually point their way in. He's going to have to outpoint Matt Kenseth by quite a bit. He actually mathematically could lock himself in if he has a strong night on Bobby Labonte. Walls has been very good lately. He's got back-to-back top 10 finishes, but had a top 5 at Bristol. Finished 5th, 10th tonight, but he's probably, if he's going to get a top 10, he's going to need Kenseth to likely DNF. If he goes out there and, say, wins at Richmond, he's a great short track racer. But if he goes out there and wins Richmond, Kenseth probably still might have to finish outside the top 30 or so. It's going to be tough. But you can't count Wallace out of it, though. You never know what's going to happen. And again, even if Kenseth has a strong night, which Kenseth has been red hot lately too, what's going to happen to Bobby Labonte? I mean, Bobby Labonte's not locked in, and even Kurt Busch, for that matter, is not locked in either. So I'm actually going to take a picture of these points so that way I can calculate it before the stream starts tomorrow as to I'll be able to figure out where exactly the 3 drivers currently above the cutoff line have to finish in order to lock themselves in, no matter if Rusty Wallace wins or not. So let me take a quick little picture. A quick pick. There we go. All right. Be on the lookout in the community tab on the channel. I'll be starting some polls, and they have to do with the NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode on the channel. You guys will get to fan vote which team I will get to race for in the NASCAR 21 career mode. So we'll start that poll down in the chat tomorrow. It'll probably be knockout. I'll start off asking you guys like a top tier team sometime early tomorrow, maybe sometime later tomorrow, like a B tier team, and then the top C tier team, which would be kind of like your, Starcom, Brickware Racing, Spire, those kinds of teams. Probably front row in that mix too. So of those teams, and then the B tier teams, like your Chip Ganassi, Trackhouse 2311. So those teams, and then like your top teams, Hendrick. So those will be separate polls. The top vote of each of those poll will be in the final poll as to which team I will actually race as. So that's pretty much going to be that. I will be releasing bits of the schedule for our custom schedule on NASCAR 21 Ignition if the schedule, again, that is if we can run a custom schedule, which essentially if there's no season mode at all, we will, because we'll just have to do it on Race Now, and I'll keep track of the points myself. I did that all NASCAR Heat 5 long, so I guess I'll have to do it again, but it gives us a custom schedule option. Those will also be released on the community post here as of late. Congratulations to Case Kane getting his first career win tonight at the California Speedway. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you on the channel tomorrow. Next live stream will be at noon Eastern Standard Time. Our regular season finale will be at the Richmond Raceway tomorrow. It'll be under the lights, but ours will be in the afternoon. That will be our prelude to the Cup race tomorrow at Kansas. So hopefully you guys watch that as well. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.